Hey guys, this is your friendly neighbor Scorpion, and welcome back to Vintage Game Night. And for this part, I went back into my treasure chest and found Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. The game was released in 2004, which makes it now 13 years old. Looking at the graphics, I would say it holds up quite nicely. Of course, it's not up to the standards we're used to now from Battlefield 1 and Battlefront and stuff like that, but it's okay. But let's get into the game itself. And I must say, in my opinion, the strongest moments in this game is actually at the start. Right off the bat, they really draw you into the experience of taking on a beach on D-Day. You really do feel like one of the guys trying to push up towards the beach. At this point though, everything feels very hectic because you're not really prepared for any of this. When you have arrived on the beach and the shit really starts to hit the fan and you feel like you're probably gonna die in a moment, the game gives you a really nice flashback to the time when you were a recruit, which is another great part of the opening of this game. This is where you meet your Sarge, and he gives off a little bit of a Full Metal Jacket vibe in his way of talking to his recruits. And even though I found this part very entertaining, mostly because of the tone of it, it is basically just a glorified tutorial on how to move your character and to test up your weapon skills. When you're done with your time as a recruit, you will arrive at Pearl Harbor, and yeah, you guessed it, everything is gonna go all kinds of wrong. Because this is of course the exact moment that Japan is attacking Pearl Harbor, and you're right smack in the middle of it all. This is again one of those moments where they manage to immerse you 100% in the game with epic music and explosions going off around you and gunfire. And just have a look here. After this epic moment though, it will start to go downhill for this game. Because now it's time for a turret section! Yay! This first one isn't that bad because this is the first one you get, so you're not really annoyed at it at this point. But you will more or less go straight from this turret over to this turret! Way! And not only do you get a lot of these turret sequences, they are dreadfully long. Well, at least most of them are. And later in the game you have another turret sequence with a machine gun, and it takes like 15 minutes or so to complete. It's very boring in the end, and the turret itself also feel very underpowered from time to time, and you don't really get the kills even if you get from chest and up. When you hit them, it's just really annoying. When you're done defending your ship at the attack of Pearl Harbor, you will go ashore and walk into this big jungle. And you might as well get used to it, because you are basically only going to see this jungle for the next 6 to 8 hours-ish. Which in itself makes for a very repetitive environment. So it is a good thing that the missions in here isn't also very repetitive. Or are they? The difference in missions really go from clear this village with your guns, or clear this village with a machine gun. There are of course also the almost mandatory sneak missions. Well, you're encouraged to sneak, but unless the mission actually calls for it, the Japanese soldiers will use their X-ray vision and just see you anyway and start shooting at you. Oh yeah, almost forgot. There's also these missions where you use explosives to destroy something. The little things you will pick up while wandering around in the jungle is you get stuck on things. Bushes, trees, small fences in the villages. It's just weird. Sometimes you can even jump up a tree. It makes no sense. And in gunfights, you would think that the trees could offer some kind of protection if you have the tree between you and the Japanese soldier, but not really. As you can probably tell by now, the feeling I'm left with after playing this game isn't overly positive, sadly. After the strong opening, I was really expecting to like it a lot more. I was really immersed in the story and the action. at the start of the game, but then it just kind of started to fall apart, and no amount of Tommy gun action could save it in the end for me. So my final verdict of this game is an unexpected 1 out of 5 vintage joysticks. Which basically means that unless you're really into World War II games, or can see past all of the annoyances that this game has, then don't really pick this one up. And that's it for this episode of Vintage Game Night. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like and maybe even subscribe for more content in the future.